is Maggie. I wanted to talk more about the great conjunction coming up, the Pluto Saturn Jupiter conjunction. They're calling the Great Conjunction. Um, yeah, it'll be occurring. I just drew up a chart. I drew up several actually, but so this one it's just a stellium in Capricorn, 2019. So I drew it up for January 1st, 2019. But technically, Jupiter will conjunct on November 2nd. It will conjunct Saturn November 2nd, 2020. So it'll be, and the Sabian symbol for 30 degrees Capricorn, by Dane Rudger in Astrological Mandela, a book I've read all Dane Rudger's books. But a secret meeting of men responsible for executive decisions in world affairs. So this conjunction is like a huge, huge deal. The last time, I believe it's every Saturn and Pluto conjunctions are every 33 to 38 years. But this with Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto conjunction, I think the last time it happened was during the Civil War and slavery, So those were two huge Plutonian issues, corruption, um, fighting justice, fighting for justice, and oppression. Oppression would be, Saturn, and Pluto would be just the dark underbelly of, slavery, and how ugly the Civil War was. And so anyway, it's coming up again, and this is, in our lifetime, this is it for us that we will see this. So it's very, very much a rare occurrence, and there's just a lot of speculation. So I like the Sabian symbols. The other Sabian symbol for 1 degree Aquarius is for when I believe when Jupiter stations in Aquarius. Let me just make sure. Is a seed mission in California. So, that one I believe is probably talking about the climate change and all the fires we have out here, and a lot of things start in California, ecological change. I do, because of the opposition, I'm just going to jump right into it. So on January 1st, the sun is 10 degrees Capricorn on the midheaven in the 10th house. I'm doing the natural wheel. Saturn is 21 degrees, so it's been hanging out in Capricorn for at least 2 years. Pluto is at 22 degrees Capricorn. So, and Jupiter is just stationing at 0 degrees. So that's why I chose this date, because technically all 4 planets are there. And the nodes are in action as well. And those are the karmic ecliptic points. And so the south node also, it's in Capricorn, because the north node, the opposition, just moved into Cancer. So it will be at 5 degrees Cancer. And so the south node just adds to the action up there. It will be definitely some executive decisions, world authorities. We really don't know how this could manifest. I would think a redistribution possibly of wealth. It's because Uranus is in the picture too. It's Uranus. There's so much Earth already in Capricorn. We have this whole stellium of Earth, plus the south node just swallowing up, it swallowing up the old structure, or wanting to, all the other planets wanting to remain the status quo, but that's not happening. So anyway, Uranus it's in trine because it's Earth, it's Earth. So it could be the financial, it could be some erratic swings in the redistribution of wealth or the financial markets because Pluto's involved and Jupiter expands. So a lot of times what Jupiter expands isn't always a good thing. I mean, it is a benefic, yes, but hanging out with Pluto and Saturn and the Sun, and then when Mars is there as well, it's just a powerful. We can expect to see some very, very powerful events. The U.S. is a Cancer country. The North Node is in Cancer, and it's directly opposed to everything in Capricorn. So, there will be some massive changes, in world leaders, in government, because it's all Earth, because of Uranus trining all the Earth signs, Uranus and Taurus, fixed Earth, and Capricorn being on an angle. There will be volcanoes, earthquakes, huge, huge events. Because Pluto is like an eruption, it's like the underbelly of the Earth. And Pluto also exposes darkness, so Pluto and Saturn can expose like immorality going on, like when it exposed slavery. I mean, people didn't have a clue what was going on, and when it exposed just prohibition, there were all kinds. Yeah, but basically slavery and the Civil War. The Civil War was home, Cancer, the U.S., and opposed everything up in Capricorn. So it's just Saturn is the ruler of Capricorn, so it's authority. Everyone fighting for power and resources, definitely resources, oil. Could bring Saudi Arabia into it. And of course, you'd have to look at the rulers of different countries to see who would be somebody named China that they might they might be in the picture. And there's a beautiful sextile, which is harmonious, easy flowing aspect in the stellium in Capricorn on January 1st, 2019. Between Neptune in 12th house Pisces. So Neptune is so full of illusion, idealism. It wants to change things, but it can also not see the clear picture at times, and Neptune could be very dreamy, idealistic, new drugs, just the whole era of like when Neptune was in Libra. That was the whole psychedelic era, when all the new drugs were coming out. So that's kind of what it's like with Neptune and Pisces, definitely. So everyone may be really either a visionary, idealistic, and trying to maybe get in on this, trying to make a change, but they're up against a wall. I feel like they're up against a wall because it's such an overpowering force of nature. Could be a force of nature, a lot of displaced people through Earth-related events. And we're already going through that, but it's going to be, I believe, massive redistribution of wealth, because already wealth is, in the hands of a few. So people, I think there will be a fight over assets. Yeah, I don't want to predict war. Who knows what's going to happen in the 2020 elections? There's been speculation, but yeah, whatever it is, it's going to be a powerful. There's been predictions of impeachment, assassination, going back to the Kennedy curse. I think I read somewhere this was the same conjunction when the Kennedys were assassinated. I may be wrong, but yeah. So but that I don't go that far to predict something like that. But it's of course, it's possible. It's possible. Because Pluto can be violent. It can be a malefic, and Saturn, although it's the ruler of Capricorn, it too could be a malefic. But it's also the Lord of Karma. It's the great teacher. So if you're up there in a position of power and you're misusing your authority, yeah, you want to nuke another country or I don't know. It's just. So Jupiter is expanding all this energy. It's just expanding it. And then Jupiter's in sextile with Neptune in Neptune in Pisces. So it's kind of like they're in la la land. They like just there's going to be some people just checking out, just checking out. There's going to be some idealistic visionaries that are trying to change things. There's going to be a lot of escapist tendencies, just to deal with all the I believe chaos that's going to ensue, chaos going to ensue. So we have the Sun, Mercury, Jupiter, Saturn, Pluto, the MC, the midheaven, which counts as the angle. Of course it counts, and that's where all the action happens, on the angles. And Uranus in Taurus. So it is massive, massive Earth. So definitely there will be huge Earth-related events. I would think volcanoes. People may be totally against fracking the Earth, so the visionaries, and the Neptunians and Pisces, sextiling Jupiter will be maybe trying to save some of the Earth's resources, but they're up against a very powerful offense. The offensive is pretty much stronger than the people. The power of the people just really isn't there. It looks like the power of the authority is there. Whoever has the most resources wins, but that's not really how it is, and especially not with Saturn, because Saturn's the Lord of Karma, and Pluto tears things down. So, it's how it's going to end, there's going to be fall from authority. It could just erupt into a war, But anyway, I was talking about Jupiter, the benefics, Jupiter sextiling, and Jupiter is the ruler of Pisces. Both Jupiter and Neptune rule Pisces. So they're in sextile, 60-degree, easy, harmonious flow. And so they're, the visionaries, the idealists, and but where Jupiter is, it can expand. So it can expand the Plutonian grab for power. This looks like a huge power grab. It could be oil companies, any kind of earth resources, mining, Capricorn countries, Cancer countries, because it's in opposition to the nodes are in opposition, and the polarization is Cancer, any Cancer country, and Capricorn. So Jupiter is expanding this, Neptune and Pisces. As I said, they're both rulers of Pisces. And so in a way, it's good. It will bring out some idealists or some plus plus when the sun goes into Aquarius, when it stations at Aquarius, Jupiter will station 0 degrees Capricorn on December 3rd, 2019. And Saturn will be at 17 degrees Capricorn, December 3rd, 2019. But this Jupiter-Saturn conjunction is 0 degrees November 2nd, 2020. That's why I didn't put all these different dates down. And I'm not turning the wheel today, but that's an easier way to look at it. In solar fire, you could just turn the wheel. But since they're outer planets, it's going to be there. Jupiter is in a whole year. So it's going to be a whole year in Capricorn. So Jupiter will conjunct Saturn 0 degrees officially November 2nd, 2020. So it will be a whole year. A whole year. In Aquarius. So when it stations, Aquarius gives you a little bit of hope. Aquarius gives some hope, but it's still overwhelmingly Capricorn. And until, it's just, I'm sorry, there's just so many different scenarios I have going on in my head that, there are going to be people, humanitarian groups, and there's going to be people trying to escape this, either through drugs, alcohol, new drugs definitely coming out, or escaping environmental disasters. With Neptune, it's water, and with all this fixed Earth, angular cardinal Earth, and fixed too. Fixed is Taurus Earth, Uranus and Taurus. So they will be escaping ecological disasters, earthquakes, volcanoes, tsunamis. We just had a tsunami in Indonesia. That would be Neptune and Pisces. So all kinds of. So the opposition is a lot of displaced people. A lot of displaced people from their homes because the moon rules Cancer, and the 4th house is the home. It's also the home of the U.S. So I don't know that I just pray to God there's not a war. I pray to God there's not a war or an assassination or anything like that. However, corruption on the highest levels will be front and center, just like slavery was, and the Civil War, was just really an ugly thing, So, and it just takes years and years and years, even now we're still barely coming to terms with the results of the Civil War, the Confederate flag was just barely taken down, and this is how many years later? So these long-term outer planets they have these transformational changes, but they take years. They take years. However, you can see them coming. Saturn's going to be there for 2 years in Capricorn. Jupiter will be there 1 year. And when they're all together, and Pluto is tearing down corruption. It's like the underbelly of politics. Like spies. It's the ruler of Scorpio. So there's a lot of secrets because, it is the ruler of Scorpio. So a lot of secrets, like from the FBI and from spies, that maybe we shouldn't know about are being leaked. And so all kinds of espionage and weird stuff's going on. But anyway, I'm not talking politics. I just wanted to vaguely sort of talk about this because it's very, very exciting. This is in our lifetime. This is it for us. So, we still have a chance to save the earth, and yeah, I just really hope to God that we can, yeah, it's not looking really good up there, up in the 10th house in Capricorn to me. It just, it isn't, but we will come through it. There will be massive changes, and, we'll survive just like we always have. But there will be massive, massive changes and a lot of displaced people. And I really hope that, America will be intact, which I'm sure we will. But there will be massive changes. So anyway, I don't want to be repetitive. I hope you enjoyed this. If you do, please like, subscribe, and share. And thank you. Happy New Year.